Ever found yourself pushing off important tasks until the last minute? You're not alone. Procrastination, or as I like to call it, the art of delaying, is a universal phenomenon that we've all experienced at some point or another. It's that sneaky little voice in your head that convinces you to binge watch another season of your favorite show instead of studying for that big exam. Or that powerful urge to clean your entire house when you should be finishing up a work project. Procrastination is like a credit card. It's a lot of fun, until you get the bill. In fact, it's so common that researchers estimate that 1 in 5 adults and half of the student population procrastinate regularly. Yes, that's right, you're part of an exclusive club, but unfortunately, the membership fees are steep. The problem with procrastination is that it's a silent productivity killer. It tricks you into feeling productive when in reality, you're just avoiding the tasks that you should be focusing on. It's like trying to run up a down escalator. You're working hard, but you're not getting anywhere. But it's not just about wasted time. Procrastination can lead to stress, poor performance, missed opportunities, and even health problems. It's like that one friend who's fun to hang out with but always gets you into trouble. But why do we do it? Why do we let this insidious habit take over our lives? Well, that's a question for another day. What we do know is that it often comes down to a struggle with self-control, fear of failure, or simply not knowing where to start. But don't worry, there are proven strategies to overcome procrastination, and today, we're sharing the top 10. So buckle up and get ready to kick procrastination to the curb. Because let's face it, there's no better time than right now to start making the most of your time. Let's dive into the first tip, setting clear goals. First up, set clear goals. Now you might be thinking, I have goals, but are they clear? Are they achievable? Setting vague, grandiose goals is like shooting for the moon without a spaceship. It's all well and good to dream big, but it's essential to set realistic, attainable goals to make progress. Why is this important? When you have a clear vision of what you're aiming for, it gives you a roadmap to success. It's like having a GPS in your car. Without it, you're just driving aimlessly, hoping to stumble upon your destination. So, how do you set clear goals? Start by making them specific. Instead of saying, I want to do well in school, say, I want to get an A in my math class. Then, make sure they're measurable. How will you know when you've achieved your goal? Remember, a goal without a plan is just a wish. So, get planning and start achieving. Scene script. Next, break your tasks down into smaller, manageable parts. Think of it this way. You wouldn't attempt to eat an entire pizza in one bite, would you? Of course not. You'd slice it up and tackle one piece at a time. The same principle applies to your tasks. When faced with a large project, it can seem like a daunting mountain that's impossible to climb. But if you break that mountain down into smaller hills and tackle them one by one, it suddenly becomes far less intimidating. Each small victory builds your confidence, fuels your motivation, and propels you forward. You're not just aimlessly wandering around, you're making progress. And that progress, no matter how small, is a step in the right direction. So, next time you're faced with a task that feels overwhelming, remember to slice up that pizza. Take one step at a time, and before you know it, you'll have climbed a mountain. Tip number 3, prioritize your tasks. Now this is where the magic happens. Think of your tasks like the Avengers. Not all superheroes are created equal, right? Some have super strength, some can fly, and some are Hawkeye. Similarly, not all tasks are created equal. Some are important, some are urgent, and some can wait. The key here is to identify the Iron Mans and Captain Americas of your task list. These super tasks are the ones that will have the biggest impact on your day, your week, or even your year. They're the ones that will help you reach your goals and make progress. So, how do you identify your super tasks? Well, it all comes down to understanding your goals and what you need to do to achieve them. Once you have that figured out, it's just a matter of putting those tasks at the top of your list and tackling them first. Not all tasks are created equal, so make sure you're focusing on what matters most. Fourth on our list, eliminate distractions. Now, we all know how a buzzing phone or a chatty roommate can turn a productive session into hours of procrastination. Distractions are like candy, sweet, tempting, and bad for productivity's health. But let's dive deeper. Distractions aren't just about the physical noise around us, it's also the mental noise within us. That constant chatter in our minds, the endless to-do lists, the worries and anxieties. They all contribute to our inability to focus on tasks at hand. So how do we combat this? Start by creating a conducive environment for work. Keep your workspace clean, tidy, and free from unnecessary items. turn off notifications on your devices when you're working, and most importantly, practice mindfulness. Be present in the moment and quiet the mental noise. Remember, your environment plays a significant role in your productivity. Out of sight, out of mind, keep your workspace clean and distraction-free. Moving on to tip number 5, use time management techniques. Now these techniques are your secret weapon in the battle against procrastination. Imagine them as your very own time turner, minus the whole messing up the space-time continuum part. First up, we have the Pomodoro technique. This involves breaking your work into chunks of 25 minutes, punctuated by 5-minute breaks. Think of it as a high-intensity workout for your brain, but without the sweat. Next, we have time blocking. This is where you dedicate specific hours of your day to certain tasks. It's like making a VIP list for your tasks. Both methods have their merits, and it's all about finding what works best for you. Remember, these techniques are not set in stone. Feel free to tweak them to suit your needs. So, whether you're a Pomodoro person or a time blocker, the key is to stay consistent and committed. Remember, time is a resource. Use it wisely. Tip number 6, stay organized. Now let's think about this. Have you ever walked into a room full of clutter and felt instantly overwhelmed? That's because our environment influences our mental state. When our workspace is a mess, our minds tend to mirror that chaos. It's as if you're trying to solve a puzzle while someone keeps tossing extra pieces onto the table. Not the most efficient, right? Organization extends beyond your physical space. It also applies to your schedule. Having a clear plan for your day, week, or even month can help you manage your time effectively and reduce the urge to procrastinate. It's like having a personal GPS that guides you through your tasks. Remember, organization is not a one-time event but a continuous process. It's about maintaining order and making adjustments as needed. It's a habit that you cultivate over time, not something you perfect overnight. A cluttered space equals a cluttered mind. Keep things tidy. 7th on the list, stay healthy. You may be wondering, what does physical health have to do with procrastination? Well, the answer is, a lot. Your physical health directly impacts the energy and focus you can bring to your tasks. Think about it. On days when you're feeling under the weather, you're less likely to be productive. On the flip side, when you're feeling fit and healthy, you're more energized and ready to take on whatever comes your way. Exercise, a balanced diet, and adequate sleep are the building blocks of good health. Regular exercise boosts your energy levels and improves mental clarity. A balanced diet fuels your body with the right nutrients it needs to function properly. And let's not forget sleep. It's during these precious hours that your body recharges, ready to take on the next day. Remember, your body is your greatest asset. When you're physically healthy, you're mentally prepared to tackle procrastination head-on. Your body is a temple. Treat it well, and it will treat you well in return. Tip 8. Practice mindfulness. Now this may sound like something Yoda would say, but it's actually one of the most effective ways to combat procrastination. Mindfulness is all about being present, about focusing on the here and now without judgment. It's about grasping the reins of your thoughts, instead of letting them run wild. Imagine being able to direct your focus like a laser beam, zeroing in on the task at hand with absolute clarity. That's the power of mindfulness. It reduces stress, sharpens focus, and boosts productivity. You don't need to be a Zen master to practice mindfulness either. Start small. Take 5 minutes each day to just sit in silence, focusing on your breath. Let your thoughts come and go, but always bring your attention back to the breath. It's like a mental workout, strengthening your focus muscles. So remember, stay present, stay focused, and the rest will follow. 9th tip, reward yourself. Now who doesn't love rewards, right? It's like being a kid again and earning a gold star for a job well done. It's a simple but effective method to motivate future action. Think about it. If all we did was work, work, and work, where's the fun in that? It's like watching a movie without popcorn or eating a sandwich without the filling. Rewarding yourself after completing tasks is not just a treat, it's a necessity. It's a pat on the back, a way of saying to yourself, hey, great job, you did it! It's like being your own cheerleader. And it doesn't have to be grand or costly. A short break, a cup of your favorite coffee, an episode of your favorite show, or even a walk in the park. Anything that brings you joy can be a reward. Remember, you're not just working for the sake of work. You're working for something better, something enjoyable. So, work hard, play hard. You've earned it. And finally, tip 10, seek support. This might seem like a no-brainer, but it's easy to forget when we're deep in the trenches, battling the procrastination monster. It's important to remember that we're not lone wolves. howling at the moon in isolation. We're social creatures, and we thrive on connections and interactions. So when you're feeling overwhelmed, don't hesitate to reach out. Maybe you need a study buddy to keep you accountable, or perhaps a mentor who can guide you through a challenging project. It could be as simple as sharing your goals with a friend or family member, or maybe you need to seek professional help to manage stress and anxiety. Don't be like Frodo, trudging up Mount Doom alone. Seek your own Samwise Gamgee, your supportive sidekick. You don't have to carry the burden alone. Remember, it's okay to ask for help. You're not in this alone. And there you have it, 10 tips to stop procrastination in its tracks. We've embarked on quite the journey today, haven't we? We've navigated the murky waters of procrastination, found our bearings, and come up with a map, a top 10 list, if you will, to guide us out of the wilderness. We started by setting clear goals, nothing like a beacon of light in the distance to keep us moving forward. Then we broke down those goals into manageable tasks, because who wants to tackle a mountain when you can climb a series of hills instead? Next, we learned to prioritize our tasks. Like organizing the pieces of a puzzle, we found out it's easier to see the big picture when we know what pieces to place first. And speaking of organization, we realized that staying organized isn't just about having a clean desk, it's about having a clear mind. We also talked about eliminating distractions. Like a Jedi mastering the Force, we learned to clear our minds of clutter. We saw how time management techniques can be our lightsaber, slicing through the dark side of procrastination. Staying healthy came up as another crucial tip. Because let's face it, it's hard to conquer the world when you're not feeling your best. We then touched on the power of mindfulness. Like Yoda said, do or do not, there is no try. Being present in the moment helps us focus and get things done. We also discovered the joy of rewarding ourselves. Who knew that a little treat now and then could motivate us to do more? And finally, we learned the importance of seeking support. Because sometimes the best way to defeat a villain is with a little help from our friends. So, let's put these 10 tips to work, shall we? Let's show procrastination who's boss. We've got goals to achieve, dreams to chase, and a world to change. So go ahead, give these tips a try and say goodbye to procrastination. Until next time, stay productive.